Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video, we are going to do a new Python project. And this time it is going to be a very interesting project. Because in this project, we are going to do multiple new things and we'll be moving slightly ahead from the beginner level. In this project, we'll be doing file handling, file reading and writing, multiple control flows, error handling. So this is going to be a fairly long video and this is going to be very interesting also. We are going to do a number guessing game, but this number guessing game is going to be a little complicated. It is not going to be as a very simple one. Let me first show this to you. Here on the command line, if I run this file, number guessing, enter your name. So it is asking me to enter a name. And if I say, okay, then enter a lower bound. So let's say 5. Enter a higher number, 56. So this is kind of a floor in the ceiling. We have, a range set in 5 to 56. Now between these two numbers, we have to guess a number. So enter your number, your guess. If I say 51, now we get a hint, lower. If I say 21, it says lower. If I say 6, we get this higher. Now suppose if I enter the number again, 21, it gives me this prompt. You have already tried 21. Now, what if I enter something which is not in this range? If I say something like 69, your guess must be within defined range of 5 to 56. Great. So now we have to, let's do it, 9 higher. If I say 16 higher, 19, okay, correct. You took 8 attempts to guess 19, player, name of the player, guesses, and given 52 number choices. And this is the time. And we are going to, also write a file with the same message. So there would be a score or some, a text file which we would be creating, and this whole message would be also added in that file. So this is exactly what we are going to do in this project. And so let's go ahead and build it. Again, as I said, this is going to be a little longer video because we have to create multiple things. It is going to be, a lot of functions we are going to create, and then we have to call each other, and we have to also do error handling. So in the beginning, I'm going to create a main function, and this main function would have the main control flow, which would be calling all the functions, and then gradually we'll be creating multiple other functions for the project. So let's start this. Here I can just write a comment, and let's call this number guessing, and with upper and lower bound. So what we're going to do is first we'll create few functions. We'll see how things work. So let me just write down what we're going to do. So first we are going to ask for asking the user input. That's going to be name. Then we take user input again. For lower and upper range. Then we take get a random number, because we have to pick a random number. System would give us a random number. And then we are going to write a main program, main function. Inside it, we will use there would be a main loop, and inside that loop we will be checking the guess. So input guess, checking guess, if correct, will return something, and if incorrect, we'll prompt again. Then we would also create a function for file handling. We would also have a function to write a text string. So these are going to be few things which we would do. Let's start doing it. First, let's create a main function. So here we say main, and right now there's nothing inside the main. We would eventually give an argument also because we have to call a file here. Let's take our input and we say input, enter your name. So this would be your name. Let's make it title here, title case. If name is not given, we say if not name, then we can print. Okay. No name entered. Okay. Here we can do multiple things. Either we can keep asking, or we can also, just close the program, return it, whatever we want. So if I want to have another prompt, I can just continue saying that try again. That's what keep on trying. Then we are going to have, let's try this one. So if I say print name here, and then here we can say if name is equal to main. So this becomes the main function, this file. And then we call the main function. Now if I run this, enter your name. No name entered, try again. So it has, it is coming out. And once we write multiple things inside it, then we'll make some changes here. And if I give a name, okay, we did not get the main function. I called it main function here. So let's print here. And we have the print name. But we are not going to, keep it like this. So leave it. Now, what is the next thing? Next thing is to get the lower bound and the upper range. So let's create a function def get user input range. You can call it anything you want. So here in this one, we have to do multiple things. I'm going to create a few variables. So first one is going to be current attempts. Let's call this 0. And we are going to count the attempt till the guess is correct. So we'll say attempts to valid guess, and let's say it 5. I'll show you what does it mean in here 5. So now let's run a loop while current attempts is less than attempts to valid guess. Then we can increase the current attempts. Then we say try Here we are going to take the input. So let's say low number. Let's call this int input because we want it in the input as the input. So enter, what do we say? Starting number. And we are going to say upper number. And this is going to again input. Enter the ending number. Again, you can call this anything, or maybe I'll make it like enter a lower bound, upper bound, something like this. It makes more sense. Then here we can say accept value error, and this value error is going to again print something. So we say invalid format. Then we're going to continue. This is about continue. Let's say else if low number is less than upper number, then we are going to return both the numbers, low numbers and the upper number. Else we are going to print low bound must be less than upper bound. So we are just checking if the low number is less than the upper number. If somebody enters low number as a 55 and then upper number as a 46, then this is not going to work. It will print this message. Okay. Then let's move ahead and we'll create what else? Creating. We need a while. We have to close this while loop. So here I'm saying else print. Now we are asking for the user valid attempts, and these attempts are 5. So if 5 times user does not enter anything in these two numbers, then we would give him a range, or we'll make it like lesser than 5 actually. Let's say 3. So then we would say attempts exceeded range set to 1 to 10. Okay, so this looks fine. So what we are doing it in this get user input range function, we create two variables and we are running a while loop. If the current attempts are less than attempts to valid guess, we are increasing the current attempts. Then we are going to take the input lower in upper number and simply try and accept value error here. And else if a low number is less than the upper number, fine, return the same thing. So this is what we want. Otherwise, else we will print a message here. Okay. And even after this message, we have to continue. So this is all. And then we are printing this. We are giving a default range. We'll say how to do it. So let's call this function here. So here we say low number, upper number, and now we have this, right? So let's try to print it and we say print f string low number, high or upper number. Okay, so what we are doing is we are just calling this function here, and because it is returning, or it is not returning anything, so we have to return something. This return would be return 1 and 10. That's how we setting this range. If user does not input anything and attempts are exceeded, then we are going to return this 1 to 10. So we are just setting the limit to the 1 and 10. So let's see how it works. So Python, I'm guessing here, let's say enter your name, right? Enter a lower bound, let's say 5, enter a upper bound, 56. Fine. We have low is 5, upper is 56. This is what we wanted. So here we are calling the function. First, the main function is being called. Once the main function called, this thing run. So we enter the name, everything. And then we call this function get user input. So when this function runs, it sees the get user input range. It goes to this one here, and it follows everything, all these steps here and there, asking for the user input, upper and lower bound, and then checking all these things, and then returning it. So now, if I run this again, and I say, okay, my name said nothing, invalid format, nothing, invalid format, nothing, invalid format, attempts exceeded, range set to 1 and 10. And now the lower is 1, upper is 10. Okay, because we have set it to 3 here. That's why if I do it 5, it would take like 5 attempts. Great. So the first function is done. Now let's move to the second function. And this is a very simple one. So what we want to do is, we have done this, get a user number. So this is a simple importing a random library, random. And then here we are going to create a function get a random number. Okay, and this is going to take 2 parameters here, because we want to set the number between 2 numbers like 5 or 55. So let's say lower, we'll set a range, and upper, and it is going to do a simple things like we'll say random randint lower and upper. That's all. Okay, so now again copy this. We are going to call this function also. So I'll call this random number. Let's call it. We'll print random number. And we say random number. And I hope you understand the f string. This is how we print. There are multiple ways to do it. For f string, this is how we do it. We can write a text, and whenever we have a variable, we put it inside the curly braces. Let's go ahead. So run it. Enter the name. If I say John, enter the lower bound 7, 78. There is some error. This error is okay. We have to give these values here. So lower number and upper number. Now if I run this, enter your name, Bob, 545, and we have a low number, upper number, and a random number. Fine. If I run it again, said enter a lower bound 45, enter a upper bound 41, we get the error. Low bound must be less than the upper bound. Try again 45, 455, we have a random number 161. Great. So we have done the two things. Now we have the input from the user and we have the random number. Now we are going to move ahead and take the other things. So before we do anything, okay, let's write the main function, which is going to be our main game function. These were only for the user input. Here, let's create another function and let's call this main game. Or we say depth number guessing game. Now, again, you can call it anything you want. Now, this one is going to take multiple things. So, first is it has a random number. Second is it is the range and the height. Now, let's do a few things. Because this is going to be the main game where the user put input the guess. So first is, let's say, guess, and we are going to say input, enter your guess, and this is going to be an integer. Okay, now let's run a loop. In the while loop, we'll say guess is not equal to random number. So if a guess is equal to random number, then the program is done. We can just print the message. But if guess is not equal to random number, then we are running this while loop. And let's create few variables again. Attempts, and we can say attempts 1. And here we are going to increase the attempts. We are going to say attempt plus 1. Now, if here we are going to do many things, we'll create a control flow. So first thing we have to do is check if number is within range. How would we do it? If guess is less than equal to high, and if guess is greater than equal to low. So this means it is within the range, less than high and more than low. Then we are going to say something. But again, we have to do a few things. We want to count the attempts and see if the number which has already been entered or guessed is being entered again or not. So we could print a message. Then we say, let's create a list here. Guess list. It's an empty list. And then say check for duplicate entry. And we say if guess not in guess list, and we are going to say guess list dot append the guess. I'll explain this in a while. Else print you have already entered number, and we are going to say guess, and it has to be F string. You have already entered, you have already hide number this. Okay, so what it is doing is when we enter a number, okay, a check for the if the number is not equal to random number, then attempts are being increased. If guess is less than high and guess is greater than low, that means it is within the range. Then we are checking if guess is not in the list. If guess is not in the list, we are appending the guess because we have to check it. If the number has already been entered or not. And else. And then for else again. So this is going to be this control flow. And now for inside this one. Print in F string. Here we are going to say, because this is inside this one. We say your guess must be within defined range of, and we can say something like this, low and high. So your guess must be within the defined range of low and high. Fine, I think it is working. Now this is done, and we have to do the final thing. We have to keep running the loop. So what we are going to do is we are going to again create a control flow. If guess is greater than random number, we are going to say guess int input lower elif guess is less than random number, and we say guess int input, and we are going to say higher. So these are the hint we are going to give. Okay, now in the end, all we have to do is return the thing. So we say else here print, and let's make a new line. Correct guess. Good job. And then we can return the attempts, because eventually we would need those attempts. So this is the whole function, and let's go through it again. Or maybe first let me, run this and then you'll understand this. So here, the name of the function was number guessing game. And we can call this something else. Number guessing game doesn't look really. Let's call this main game. Yep, this is what main game. So let's call this main game, and this is going to take three variables here, three values, and first is going to be random number, second is going to be low number, another one is going to be upper number. And we can save this inside, what do we call it, user score. Let's print the score here. So we say you took user score. This is going to be the attempts because this function is going to return the attempts. So user score and attempts to get the correct number. And this number is going to be random number, right? So let's run this and then we'll see. So if I enter the name, let's call the Bob, the lower bound, 556. Fine. So we have the 17 is the guess. We are printing it for now. Enter your guess. And if I say 49, okay, lower. If I say 12, higher. If I say 39, lower. Let's enter something beyond. If I say 69, your guess must be within the defined range. So we have already entered 12. Let's try again. 12. We have already tried number 12. Fine. So let's go to the 15, higher, 20, lower, 17. Correct guess, got job. You took 8 attempts to get the correct number 17. All right, so now we are going to do the next function. This time we are going to print the text. So let's call a function and we can call this anything we want. Let me call this create text string. We'll take few parameters. Now it is going to take guesses, highest. So once it has few values, now I can give the now here and I'll say date time. So I need to import the date time for this. So please import the date time. Okay, I've done this. Once we have this, we can create a another now, and this time we are going to say date time dot trf time. This would give us a new formatted time. And now, so I'll select the format now. The format is going to be this percentage sign h colon percentage sign m colon percentage sign x, and then d b and y. This would give us the date time. Now we can simply just print the message. So let me call this the string. So we have name, guesses for the lowest and highest. Here what we can do is we say what we can call it. We can call this anything. Let's call this score string. And here I can simply go ahead and say player. So name of the player is going to be name. Then we can say guess. Guesses. Okay, this is guesses. Then we are going to say given number choices. So I'll say highest minus lowest. I hope this works. Let's see. And then we are going to give the time. So we say at now. So this would print the string, and let's return core string, copy the name of the function, coming to the main function here, and let's say score string and call this function with the name where the user is core, low number, upper number, and I can print the core string here. So this is the function. When the main function runs, it will go to this function, and this function will call this here. It will do all these things. So let's see if this is working or not. I'm not sure about this. Giving number choices like this. We can also put it on a new line on both ends. All right, so now if I say Python, run this app, enter your name. Let me call this Bob. Enter a lower bound, I'll say 9. Enter upper bound, 91. Fine, so the number is, we are printing right now, but I'll remove those things. Enter your guesses. So let's say 55 higher. You can say 91 lower, 12 higher. If I again say 55, okay, if I go beyond this, 99, and now if I say 88, 90, okay, so we have date time has no attribute now. Really? Date time has no attribute now. Why is that? That is because on import date time from date time import date time. So let's do this again. Enter your name, said 5, 55, 29 higher, 39 lower, 12 higher, 99, 12, 28, 29, 30. Correct guess. Good job. You took 8 attempts to get the correct number 30. And player said guess is 8. Given 50 number choices, we have this. So 55 minus 5, 50 number choices. Right? Okay. And now the final thing we have to do is to write a file. So we can create another function, def write code file, and this will take file name, text, mode is going to be append a, with open file name, mode is equal to mode as file dot write text, and we can go ahead and call this function in the end of the main function. So I'm just going to say write is core file, and we are going to take a file name and file text. So this is core string. It's going to get the test. It is giving us this error because it does not have a file name. So let's give it argument here, file name. Now it doesn't have. Here I can say here So I'll say file name and core.txt like this. And we can call this function also. So here I can open this core.txt. I'll remove it. Now we have this file and let's see if this is going to work or not. Enter your name, Baba. Enter a lower bound. I'll say 45. Enter upper bound 445. So, okay, we are printing this 389. Fine. I'll remove this in a while. Enter your guess. 99. Higher. 199. Higher. 399. Lower. 12. Your guess must be within defined range. 889. Your guess must be within defined range. 199. You have already tried number 199. No problem. Now we'll go to 350. Higher. 380. Higher. 390. Lower. 389. We got the correct. And if I open this code.txt, okay, it did not write anything. It was scores. I'm sorry. Again, let me remove the print. So we were printing the random number where in the main function. So get a random number, print random number. Range. Let's try this now. This should work. Enter your name. Enter your lower bound. 50. 500. Range low 50, upper 500. 450 lower. 250 higher. 350 higher. 390 lower. 385 lower. 375. 359. Okay, so 359 and 350. I'll try a few error handling. 350. Already tried. 999 out of the range. 354 lower. 351 higher. 352 higher. 353. And we get it. Now if I go to this file, we have pair Bob guesses 13. Even 450 number choices at this time. 25th October at this time. So this is working and this was all this program and I hope you liked it. I'll just go through the complete process. Okay, if you have been following me till this point, thank you very much. I hope you learned something. So this is the main function. We are taking the input and printing it. Then we are simply calling different functions. Here, this function main game, create text string, write file, and we are writing functions one after another. First is the main game, which is doing all the things, taking the guesses and then printing it. If you want to increase this, we can put the try and accept here. Alright guys, so this was all for this project. I hope it was of some use. You learned something. And if you have seen this video till here, please give it a like or thumbs up because I'll be posting more projects like this. Alright. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.